As ambitious young men, we're all going to hit that phase where we don't really know what we want, who we are, or what we're even becoming. We can scroll about it, we can think about it, we can spend countless hours planning about it. But at the end of the day, it's like we're in our manual car and we're furiously jiggling the gear stick in neutral and just giving it a good old massage, but we're not actually going anywhere. And we have countless options available to us online of the people who've already figured it out and they're living the life that we one day want to live. But when we start looking up to these people who have completed it, at least by our standards, it just makes the problem even worse and it freezes us up even more because that gap between us and them seems so insurmountable. We can't work out how to go from absolutely nothing, maybe our lowest point right now, to having everything we ever dreamed of. It just does not seem feasible with our current mind. And the confusion that this leads to in our life isn't necessarily a big problem. It's nothing more than a signal to us that who we are right now, or our old identity, does not fit anymore. We can't necessarily keep our exact same ways of thinking and operating around while expecting to reach that goal. That's why it doesn't make sense in our head, because currently, if we're being honest, we are incapable. Something has to change and something has to evolve in order for us to complete that journey. And that's why thinking and planning becomes such a difficult roadblock that people stumble on, because we can't think our way out of it. We are incapable of thinking our way out of it. We have to start moving in order to learn the next step, follow the next piece of our roadmap, learn again, and keep evolving. Any plan we make now will not get us to where we need to go because we do not understand the steps. By default, when we sit down and we want to try and get out of this place of absolute confusion, the first thing we're going to be hunting for is clarity, because we think that when we get our clarity, we will then know the steps to take to reach that goal. But it's actually the other way around. Action actually creates clarity. Imperfect action is one of the greatest things that you can do in your life, because that's how we achieve clarity and that's how we learn. If we only allow ourselves to try and take perfect action, it's not going to work, because no matter how perfect we thought it was, our mind was not capable of creating a perfect plan. It will fail, and you will reinforce this idea in your mind that it is impossible for you to do because you had the perfect plan and it failed. And so don't worry to yourself too much about trying to have the perfect direction or the perfect plan or the perfect ABCD roadmap out in front of you. Real progress is only going to come from simply starting, building up a bit of momentum and reflecting on each step, seeing what went well, what didn't, what can we improve on, and just what is my very next step. And so we're going to the practical steps here of how we actually advance our life. The only thing you really need to know at any time throughout this journey is what is my very next step. You don't even need to know 2 steps ahead, just one. So wherever you are right now along your roadmap, pick one direction and just pick the direction that feels the most right. Don't try and sit there and look at all your different directions and try and pick one that feels perfect, because that doesn't exist. And once you pick that initial direction, stick to that for a minimum of 30 days. You can evolve your strategies while you're still moving in the same direction. Just don't go hopping around between different paths as soon as you hit a roadblock, because on every path you will hit a roadblock. And if you hit one and you jump across to another path and you start from zero, you hit a roadblock, another path, start from zero, all we're doing is putting in all this wasted effort, not actually breaking through a roadblock. So understand that when you hit a roadblock, absolutely normal, don't stop digging, break through it, and then continue forward on that same path. And because our whole goal with this is to become someone who is capable of completing the roadmap, we need to document everything along the way. Document your thoughts that you have, document the lessons that you learn, and most importantly, document any real patterns you see, good patterns and bad patterns, because those patterns will keep repeating indefinitely until you learn from them. Anything in our life, whether it be women, working out, business, having a job, they all have patterns, and when we identify the patterns and we can lean into the good ones and we can learn from and stay away from the bad ones, that's how we can really start to control the overall direction of our life. And once you picked your first step and you've completed that first step, that's where we stop, we reflect, we adjust what didn't really go so well. We're not going to do that again. We're going to evolve from that, And when we go forward to our second step, we're just going to repeat that process. As long as we know where the next step is, boom, we'll go into it, we'll keep it moving, we'll complete that second step, we'll pause, we'll adjust, and then we'll just repeat. And the more we go through this process and we start to get a bit more used to doing this exercise in our life, we'll realize it's no longer about trying to find the exact right path. It's simply a matter of becoming the person who can walk any path. So the three main things you have to take from this when you want to start adjusting your life in a very meaningful way is, firstly, don't wait for the fog to clear, because it won't. Pick a direction, any direction, whatever feels the most right to you. Start walking and don't stop walking that way. Eventually you will come out of the fog. Secondly, clarity always comes as a direct reward of movement. We will never achieve pure clarity if we do not go out there. I just dropped my pen. If we do not go out there and start taking imperfect action first. And thirdly, the path appears as you walk it. As long as you know where your first step is, you take that. Once you've completed your first step, the second step will unveil itself, and if we keep following these steps, eventually we will reach that endpoint. Don't start looking at your endpoint now, just look for your first step. Peace out, brothers.